I'm sure you have seen this one all over the shelves at most retailers. It is Hooked by Emily McIntire, so if you've been on the fence whether to read this one or not, you can go ahead and stick around if you want, because I'm going to give you a spoiler-free review. I gave this one 4 stars and 3 on the spice meter. So some of the things you can come to expect in this book is crime lifestyle, kidnapping, morally gray / black MMC, stalking, unaliving, and other dark things. So while this is not the darkest romance you will ever see me recommend, it still is considered a dark romance. So please check your trigger warnings before you jump into this one. I am going to tell you that this is book 1 in the Never After series, and it is a Peter Pan retelling, and it is contemporary. So I did co-read with the audio. What that means is I read my physical copy while listening to the audio at the same time. While we know this is something I actually usually love to do with books, this is actually something I wish I would not have done with this book. Due to the fact that the male narrator's voice was so different than what I would have expected from the book, it really distracted me and took away from my enjoyment of the story. I think without doing that, I probably would have actually rated this book a 5-star instead of a 4-star, because I really, really, really liked the actual story in this book. But we'll never know now. So I just want to throw that out there. If you decide to co-read like me and you are struggling with the audio, just don't do what I did. Don't push through with the audio and let it ruin your enjoyment of the book, because the book itself, I think, is very, very good. So as I said, I do like the actual story in the book. I like the plot. I feel like it moved at a pretty steady pace. It wasn't super fast. It wasn't super slow. I didn't feel like it drug or anything. So that was actually really a good thing. It kept my attention the entire time. So there is spice, but there's not a lot of spice. And the spice is descriptive, but it's not overly descriptive. And I know that seems kind of vague, but if you were somebody who reads spicy books, I think you get where I'm going with that. So if you are somebody who does not normally read spicy books, it's going to be pretty spicy for you. But if you're somebody who reads spicy books all the time, it's not going to be that spicy. The book is angsty, and it does have suspense, and the plot is not overly complicated, so it's really easy to follow along as well. So it's something you can pick up and kind of set down and pick up again if you have a busy week, and you're not going to get lost. So overall, I felt like this was a good book, and I would recommend this to somebody who does like dark romance, but doesn't like dark romance. I wouldn't suggest this for somebody who's maybe like a beginner in dark romance. Obviously, I'm going to suggest you more try into like the dark rom-coms, going there. And then if you liked those, maybe try something like this. But this is a little bit darker than a dark rom-com. This is going to be not as dark as some of the darker books, but at the same time, it still is considered a dark romance. Just keep that in mind. As I just said, this is a contemporary dark romance. I gave you my thoughts. Now let me give you a quick overview so you can decide whether you want to read this one or not. James wants revenge against Peter. When Peter's daughter, Wendy, shows up at James' bar, it's a perfect opportunity to get it. His plan is perfect, but he's not sure if his heart agrees. That is, if he has one. On top of that, he's pretty sure he has a traitor in his midst. I did like this book, and I will continue on with this series. Is it a series that I'm going to like rush out and buy the next one and have to read it instantly? No, probably not, but I will continue on with the series, and I did enjoy it, and I think you just might too.